Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in. My name is Bradley, also known as the Swim Coach. Today, we're going to be talking about the FPL deadline day for game week 13. We're going to be talking about my team, what I've done, why I've done it, and talk about what you guys out there think. Yeah. So a little bit of a small one. So I think we should reveal my team for game week 13. And here it is. Do you know what? We need to do that. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. Been trying to work on extending it a little bit. Well, maybe we could. A little bit wider out. There we go. I think that's better for you guys to see. So there we go. Now, I decided to keep the Liverpool goalkeeper in. I wasn't 100% sure, but looking at against West Ham, I thought we could just try it for one more. Ray will come back in after the Chelsea game. I am worried about Ray as a goalkeeper against Chelsea, especially with their Chelsea's attack. Bit wary, but I'm kind of all right with it. I do like my defense. Okay, yes, Arsenal score. We miss out on points here, but I don't really mind it. Move everything over a little bit. There we go. Especially with they've got Leeds and Bournemouth coming up afterwards. I think we could be all right with that. Leeds, okay. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about Leeds and against Haaland. Now, do I think in my last video, I did say about be careful with Haaland? For me, yeah, Haaland is a very good player. Do I think he could do well against Leeds? Yes. Do I think he could score? I'm going to be on a risky one here and say no. I do think Leeds will lose 2 or 3-0. But I'm going to say Haaland doesn't come with a goal. And yeah, I have got him as my captain. I have been looking at Thiago for Brentford against Burnley. That was another option that I was going to think about doing. Do I have Ndiaye on? But then out of my midfielders, who do I have? That was one of the other things that I was potentially looking at. So yeah, it's an interesting one. But for me, I think having an Arsenal, Palace, Chelsea combination in the next few game weeks is probably the right option. Now, I'll put you on the other bit, this bit, where I think it's probably better for you to be on this, but We can extend that a little bit. That down. There. Now, as you can see below me is all the fixtures. Hopefully you can see that. It was a bit of a bad picture, or screenshot, shall I say. I can have a little look, actually. Why not? Yeah, it's readable. Nice. Okay. So, with the fixture below, okay, Burnley, Brentford. Okay. We've only got one Brentford player. And I think, could you look at getting another one in? Possibility. But for me, I kind of like the team that I've got right now. Or the players for Brentford. Burnley, not so. City, Leeds is the other 3 o'clock kickoff. As we have mentioned, I do feel that City will beat Leeds, but I don't think City or Haaland will do as well as what a lot of people. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that are actually using Haaland as a triple captain this week, which, for me personally, I don't really like. I know for me personally, I am looking at triple captain, and I'm going to say this now. Triple captain Haaland on game week 17 against West Ham. Or, no, I'm not substituting. Or an Arsenal player on game week 16 against Wolves. That is what I am thinking about. That game week 16 against Wolves or 17. Now, here's a lot of things as well people don't realise. Game week 15. Okay, game week 15 and game week 19 is reverse fixtures. Okay, so if you go and have a look, okay, and we'll have a look at normal fixtures right now on the screen. Okay, game week 15. Okay, Wolves United. Okay, Leeds Liverpool. Then we go to game week 19. There you go. It is the complete reversed fixtures. So if you have, hang on, sorry, just get notifications through. Okay, just making sure getting these. If any notifications come through of football, we just got to make sure we're looking at it. And it is quite nice trying to look at news coming through. Now, so if you got this, would you look at potentially planning of having a Manchester United form? Now, if you look at game week 15. Okay. Game week 15. Wolves United. Game week 16. United play Bournemouth. Okay. Villa United. United Newcastle. So there's some tricky games in there. But again, someone like Arsenal, who have got on game week 15, Villa, maybe a bit tricky. But someone like Leeds against Liverpool could be a tricky one. Newcastle against Burnley. City, Sunderland. So again, even City against Sunderland, you potentially use if you've got your triple captain. Or even have a look, potentially, at putting these teams in where you can use your bench boost if you haven't already used it. I haven't used mine yet. That's something that potentially you guys out there could look at. And I think planning weeks in advance could help you out quite a lot. Now, for me, for this game week, as you can see on those fixtures below, okay, the ones for me personally to look out for, okay, and these are the ones where people go, whoa, why are we looking at those ones, okay? Today's fixtures, the one to look out for will probably be the City Leeds game. I think, yeah, Leeds will lose, but I don't think Haaland will do well. Now, if he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong. But I'm probably still going to have him as my captain. Everton, Newcastle. Okay. Newcastle, bit disappointment in the Champions League during the week. Everton had a midweek off. So, for me, very interesting. Spurs, Fulham. Okay. People are like, whoa, why Spurs? Now, think about with Spurs. They've lost their last two games. And how many goals have they conceded in those last two games? Okay. Yeah. 4 against Arsenal, 5 against PSG. Okay. Yes, they did score in both. 1 against Arsenal, 3 against PSG. But it was both away. So you can probably call that. But Fulham did win last week. And I think that could be a bit surprising. Hopefully they start hitting the ball running. They've got a very good team. They've got a few ex-Arsenal players who probably want to say to Spurs, we can still beat you. So have a look at that. Someone like Iwobi is a good shout for Fulham. Let's have a little look at Fulham. Oh no, we want stats. There we go. Fulham. Okay. Now they haven't got that many points throughout, but Iwobi's a good option. Wilson's a good person. Okay. Anderson's okay. Leno, very good. Okay. Shame that the one I really like, Smith Rowe, I believe he's out injured. Oh, there you go. Smith Rowe, he hasn't hit the ball rolling. And I think probably to show against Liverpool, against Spurs, could be a big of a, well, I'm going to do you one here. And I think that could be a little bit of a incentive for them. So have a little look through that. That could be a bit surprising, just to let you guys know. Then going on to the Sunday fixtures. We're going to talk about the Palace Manchester United game. United are on a bit of a. They lost 1-0 against Everton in at the start of the week. They've had the rest of the week off because of not having any European football. But Palace are thriving right now. As we have a little look at the league table, we will push you to this bit so you guys can see. So the league table, okay. Palace, look at them. They're in 5th right now. United are in 10th. So something like that, okay, could push. And you think Palace winning, okay, and City getting a point, okay, or even City win, Villa lose, Chelsea draw. That means they can go up to like 3rd or be 3rd or 4th, and they can go at 1 point. They could go up, but they can be in that proper Champions League qualification, and I'm going to call this. They're no mugs. They are doing really, really well. And I think there we go. Oh, hang on. Alisson's set to oh, hang on. Whoa. Alisson Becker is set to return this weekend. Okay, so that changes everything now. That changes everything. Okay, so I do have to change my fancy. Yeah, I have to change my fancy team because that means Ray has got to come in. Or do I just leave it? Do you know what? Leave it. Leave it, and if it does happen, they'll just switch, and it's no big deal. Actually, that's a point. Yeah, no big deal. So it doesn't really matter because that's just going to be an automatic change. Now, with those fixtures below, Villa, Wolves, big derby. I think it's going to be feisty. Do you want to have some of the Villa players in potentially? Choose one for game week 13. Go on, tell me. Gakpo. Gakpo. I took Saka out and put Eze in. The value of Saka compared to Gakpo. As an Arsenal fan, I'm going to go with Gakpo on this one. Yeah. I'm going to go with Gakpo because I think against West Ham, I think Gakpo is probably a better option. Saka against Chelsea, maybe. But I would probably go with Gakpo. I know Liverpool haven't been doing well, but probably Gakpo over Saka for a change. I don't normally say that, but probably that. And also, what's Gakpo's value off the top of my head? What is it? Well, 7.5 to 10. So you're saving 2.5 million. If you've got any other transfers, you could probably boost that up a little bit as well. 12.9% of people have got him. The only thing about Gakpo is his form. I'd probably go Gravenberch over Gakpo if you want to. Who else from midfielders? If you said Eze and Gakpo, I'll say Eze all day long. Because you got to think also at the moment, look at their form. Look at their form. Actually, I'll show you that. Look at their form right now. That's one thing I would look at. Okay, Gakpo's form right now is 2. Saka's form is 6.3. But that's a tricky one for me. I'm only going on who's playing who. That is all. If it was in general, I would go with Saka. But thinking about it, yeah, probably Gakpo against West Ham. But fixtures for the weekend after against Sunderland, probably Arsenal against Brentford. I remember. Oh, actually, it's a quick turnaround as well. It's a quick turnaround. So I've got to get my videos out quick. That's fine. Okay. So Alisson starting. Let's have a little look. So there. Okay. It's not that bad. But yeah, I do. For me personally, the Mbumba against Palace could be a bit of a but I think he may get a lot of defensive contributions as well. So that could be a little bit of a one there. Enzo, okay, yes, he's a good player. I just hope he doesn't do well against Arsenal. Well, he can do well against Arsenal, but Arsenal win. So there we go. Do I? Let's have a look. Any other little news? Let's have a look here. Let's see. Hang on. The knee injury, okay, so it's fine. Now, there we go. Okay. Update. Who both missed last week's game, blah, 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 blah. We still have the train today, but he has been modified training. Okay. If everything goes well, I'm thinking he's going to be available. Okay. So still potentially available. I hope I can. Okay. So again, still not sure. I did take him out of my team. But with Bournemouth fixtures against Everton next week could be a bit of a tricky one. The weekend after that, or that midweek games, week after that, Bournemouth is against Chelsea. So again, that's a tricky game. So for me, I think looking at those fixtures below, that is where people got to look very, very clearly at and closely and think about those fixtures. And do you know what I am going to do? I need to screenshot my team. I will do it on the other screen. Then I can get a better photo. So sorry guys if you hear a bit of a noise. And let's see what people think of my team over on X or Twitter. What the hell's going on? Put in the what else? What else can we put out? There we go. Let's see what people think of my team. Okay. We'll see. So yeah, I kind of do like my team. Am I fully happy with it? No. Could it have been better? Yes. And I do think that having Eze is a good option as well right now. Would I like to have Rice? I think coming up, I would probably want to try and get rid of someone like I can't get rid of Raya. Maybe Timbers and put Rice in. Because you're gonna get but then Timber scores. That could be a big bonus as well. So it's a bit of a tricky one to look at. And it is hard. And I do think sometimes they could add another like chip in where you actually can pick 4 players from one team for one game week, because that would be a very interesting one as well. And because if people get that completely and utterly wrong, that's just a big waste. So that's something that you could potentially think about in the future. And I do like the options as well. I do like how they've done it this year with the tokens, where you get for the first 19 game weeks, and then after that they reset. I do like that option. Trying to when to use them again is another one. It is. I think it's making people think a little bit more. I also have heard that. Where was it? Was it? Hang on. Overall league. There we go. That I believe, like, one of the players in the top lot hasn't really made a transfer. Like, there's only 7 transfers in 12 game weeks. 10 transfers. Only three transfers in the entire lot. Yeah. That is unbelievable. That he still had barely used any transfers. That is crazy. And he still could have made more points last game week. Now, I'm sure there was someone on the top that like, I think it was 0 transfers. 3 transfers a game. It is surprising out there of what some people have got. Nine. Just 10. And it is. And you're thinking, oh, they haven't even got rid of Gabriel. They've just kept him in. They're just saving their points. That's what I don't understand as well. 5 transfers. Got a lot of low-level players to boost up Salah and Haaland in the team. So that's a very interesting one. 8 transfers. And I think that's what a lot of people out there forget about. They haven't looked at the whole team in the long run. Okay? 9 transfers. And I think that's what a lot of people forget. And I've been trying to say this, and I think when you make too many transfers, I think that causes a lot of problems as well. And when it does make cause a lot of problems, it is hard. And they've stuck with their guns and gone, actually, I'm going to go for this. This is my team. And let's go for it. And those are the players who actually are not, they could literally just leave their team and just go, okay, do it for yourself. And there are some players that actually play in a league where they're not allowed to make any transfers unless they are using their wildcard free hits. Yeah. That is the only time they're allowed to use them, which seems weird. But I'll tell you now, if you could only do that, if you could pick a separate team that you could only have that team for the entire season, except for your only transfers you can make, and that is basically you can only make potentially 44 substitutions in total. Yeah. I think you can use those wild cards or free hits all the way up to when the transfer deadline is. And then you're allowed to transfer again as much as you like between the January transfer. And then there you go. That is a very interesting thought as well. They could do that as a side game as well. People are commenting on the thing, or one person has. A lot of people like the post. Looks good. Good luck for game week. This game week. Okay. Give that little bit of a like. Okay. So looking through it all, it is an interesting scenario of league and everything like that. Remember, we've got about half an hour before the deadline runs out. And I think, and what people like they've done is they've just gone, okay, this is the team, and this is how we play through it, and I'm just going to stick by that team, which, to be honest, is a very good option. And I think people out there do think about their teams and try and keep it to the minimum. I was trying to do that myself, but I got hit with a lot of injuries. And to be honest, I've only made 13 substitutions in total. So I have used my wild card, my free hit. I haven't done a lot of players. So I haven't done big changes. Okay, I've done 2 for this game week. Okay. And those 2 players are Saka for Eze and Simeo for Mbumba. But do I want, if Simeo comes back, I probably would think about putting him in my team. So that's something that I would potentially look at in the future. I just got to look something. Fine. And I think people have made mistakes, especially coming from that international break. That's where a lot of people made mistakes. Yeah. I think that's where a lot of people did make their mistakes from that international break, where they could have been a bit more careful, thought about their players, and not rushed those transfers. And I think that's where a lot of people got wrong, especially on the Gabriel. Because it was that there was quite a lot of people that bought him in, and then there was a lot of people that sold him. So there was a waste of a transfer. And that's what sometimes you do have to be a bit careful of. So only one person has commented on my post. But there's been 148 people that's seen it. Nice. It happens. What do you think out there, guys? What's your opinion? What is your opinion? Do you think it's a good option to have it like that or not? Or do you think it's a bit silly? Or how do you think your team is? If anyone's in the chat, put down your team and what you don't like about your team. That's actually a good thing. Put something down in the chat that you think is wrong with your team. That's actually a good option. Let's see. Let's go. Now, I kind of think that if you do look at the league table, okay, and this is where we're going to go, league table. Do you think at the start of the season, after 12 games, you would have thought that Villa, Palace, and Brighton and Sunderland would be in the top 7 teams in the Premier League? Would you have thought you would have had that in your team? Because I probably wouldn't. no, that's fine. Sorry, guys. That's why it should be low. Okay. Kind of my fault there. Got to change that setting. Oopsie. My mistake. And I do think that a lot of people wouldn't have thought that. People would have thought that that teams like Liverpool would be up there, Newcastle, Spurs, United would have been up there on the leaderboard. Even Forest, but they've had a bit of disappointment. Yes, they've won their back-to-back games. Got 6 points. They've doubled their points in the last 2 games, which is very good for them. And I do think that this season's a bit of a, I'm going to call it a weird one. Arsenal, Palace, few little players that have left, only conceded 9 goals. Okay, and they've scored 16, which, if you look through it, is still quite low. United have scored more than Palace, scored more than Villa, they've scored more than Sunderland, they've equaled the same as Brighton, Bournemouth. Okay, but look where they are in the table. They've conceded 19. And that's where I think even Burnley have scored 14 goals. Now, if you look at that, Sunderland have scored 14 as well. But they have conceded 22 goals. And I think that's the big one. Same for West Ham. West Ham, 15 goals. Now, if you look at the top 10, okay, scored more than Sunderland, scored exactly the same goals as Villa. So, again, Arsenal are on average scoring 2 goals a game. Chelsea scoring 2 goals a game. But Chelsea are conceding just under 1 goal a game, where Arsenal is a half a goal a game. Bournemouth scored 19, but conceded 20 goals. So I think you guys got to look out there of players you're going to look at for this defensive. Yeah, okay. Arsenal, Palace, City, Sunderland at the moment. Chelsea, but Sunderland do have some hard fixtures coming up. What was it? Okay. And I do believe that some players are going to find it hard in the league. And I think every team can beat each other. And I've said this for a long period of time, okay? I still believe that there'll be 3 or 4 teams come the start of March will be within about, I'm going to say, 6, 7 points of each other. Then there's going to be a bit of a gap. And they'll be the ones that fighting out for that extra Champions League spot. Then I've said it before, there'll be one team that's going to get clearly relegated, and at this moment, it looks like it's going to be Wolves. And then I did say there'd be, I think, 4 or 5 teams fighting to stay up out of those 2 teams that could go down. And I think some people out there have gone, no, that's not going to happen. Well, at the moment, it looks like it is going to happen. You think at the moment, Liverpool, okay, in 12th, okay, are technically only 2 points of the Champions League spot. And they've only won once in the last 5 games. So again, if they start getting on a bit of a roll, they can start being up near the top of the league. And that's where a lot of people are saying, oh, Slopp's got this much left, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yes, he has. But again, if you look at Liverpool's fixtures coming up, okay, where they've got upcoming, where they've got West Ham, who they can beat, Sunderland at home, they could beat, Leeds away, can beat them, Brighton at home, can beat them, even Spurs away, they can win. So in their next 5 games, they could potentially win them all. Okay, so that's where I think people have just got to be a bit careful of. And I think that looking at this is going to surprise a lot of people. Arsenal, with their fixtures coming up. Chelsea, a hard game. I expect that to be a draw. Brentford at home, tough. The manager's starting to get a little bit of a respect for him now. Sorry about that if you heard that. Villa. We always find it hard at Villa for some reason. Maybe if that's because it was our old manager. Maybe. Wolves at home. Okay, well, Wolves, that if everything goes well, we could probably win that 4-5-0. Away at Everton. Again, that could be a very interesting one. And I think, again, can be a hard game. And I'm not putting down Everton, but their manager is a very, very good manager. But I can see how Arsenal play, that they can beat them. It is a tricky one. But, as I've said it before, anyone in the league can beat anyone on their good day. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, okay, you've only got another 15 minutes or so before that team is locked and you cannot play. Okay, your team will be locked in and it'll be all done and dusted. Okay. And also remember, ladies and gentlemen, game week 14. It is literally, we've got Saturday, Sunday fixtures. And then it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday fixtures. So it's almost like you would be playing your Champions League, but you've got games midweek. So again, look closely at your teams. I may do a watch long for the Arsenal Brentford game. I'm not sure yet. I won't know until Wednesday. So have a look at that as well, ladies and gentlemen. If not, my next watch along, I can't do one there because of I've got to get to a swimming competition. I could do one on that Saturday, and that could be a nice option as well against Wolves. I think that could be a good one. 8 o'clock, yeah, probably. The week after, again, 8 o'clock kickoff against Everton. I could probably do a watch along for that one as well. Then, which one's the Palace one? Oh no, they moved. Yeah, they moved both games here from the Sunday to the Saturday night because both of them have got their Carabao Cup fixture on the 23rd, something like that. Won't be doing a watch long for the Christmas fixtures. I will be live streaming over that at some point or another. The Villa game, even the Brighton game, I'm trying to get tickets for those games, and also the Villa game. If I don't get a ticket, I will do a watch long for the Arsenal Villa game. So there's a few little heads up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Would I be able to do a watch long for the Bournemouth game on Saturday the 3rd? Possibility. I don't know. Can't remember if I've got work that day or not. So yeah. And then we go into the new year. You're joking me. I missed that game. Oh my God. Why couldn't that be on a Wednesday night? Why can that not be on a Wednesday night? And I can't watch that one because I'm at a swimming competition that weekend. Weekend after, United. I think so. No. Hang on. Oh no. I am available for the Forest game, so I could probably do a watch long for the for the Fulham Nottingham Forest game. Yeah, not for the United game. At least it's 3 o'clock. Okay. So a few games there we could do potential watch longs. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, down below, as I said before, are the fixtures for this game week. You haven't got that long left, so please remember that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the stream there. Gives you about 10 minutes to think. Any last minute stuff to do. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. I have hoped you've enjoyed this stream of the Game Week 13 deadline day. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Goodbye from now.